Hey, clase. I am back. Today is Wednesday. And so, what I want to do today is help you with the homework. Now, at first, I have to apologize. And I sent a message out on Google Classroom, but let me apologize first for messing up. I do that sometimes and not giving you a place to turn in the last ripasso A and B. It was chapter 9, and it was A and B. And I couldn't figure out why everybody was sending me messages saying, I where do I hand this in? I just thought, okay, well, we're not used to doing that, and they don't see it. And kudos to Cadence. You have a lot of perseverance. I really appreciate you just asking and asking, trying to figure this out, try to problem solve. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I've created an entry in the stream in Google Classroom for you to turn your work in. Also, I've had students handwrite stuff. Yeah, I know in the past we've said that's great. But here's the thing, if we're going to do homework, I'd like to be, especially if it's a short homework, right? Because we're going to try to keep our homeworks short. One or two of those exercises a day, every 2 days, right? And nothing, just chill out, right? So I want to be able to have you turn it in, and then I can annotate. I can make comments. So I think that'll really help people. It'll make you feel like you're connected with me. It'll make you feel like you're learning, and hopefully you actually will learn something. So, all right. So from now on, please just open a new Google Doc and click the add button and turn that work in. Do not share with me because doesn't quite work like that. Here's another reason why we're doing it like that is because in the fourth quarter, your whole grade for the fourth quarter is going to be based on the work that you do. So let's say I give you 20 assignments and you do 19 of them, you're going to have a 95 average for the fourth quarter. That's how it's going to work. There aren't going to be any tests. There aren't going to be quizzes, nothing like that. It's just, did you do the work? Boom. Okay. So, all right. So let's get into this. Remember the last time we talked about these past participles. Let's review a little bit. Remember these irregulars? And when I corrected the homework, a lot of people got this one wrong. Decir. They said decido. You can't say that. You have to say something else. Or this one here, this was on there, hacer. You can't say asido. Can't do it. How about this one, poner? That was on the homework too. You can't say ponido. All right, so do you remember what these are? What is cubrir? Ah! I'm sorry, abrir is abierto. What is cubrir? Cubierto. Uh-oh, what happened? I pushed the button and it made my face dark. That's strange. That thing down here. Okay, it doesn't work quite like that. All right, so cubierto is covered. Decir. Dicho. Escribir. Escrito. Freír. Now, you can say freído, but really, I guess in some places people would say that, but really you should say frito. Hacer. You can't say hacido. You have to say hecho. Morir. You can't say morido. You have to say muerto. This is a confusing word. Muerto is also the adjective dead. So I think in another slideshow, I said something about dead cats, gatos muertos. El gato ha muerto. The cat has died. And los muertos are the dead. And la muerte is death. Okay, so anyway, moving right along. Hopefully we don't get too stuck on that during the coronavirus. We don't want to be dead. Okay. Poner, you can't say ponido, you have to say puesto. Resolver, resuelto. Romper, roto. Ver, visto. And volver is vuelto. Okay. Then we said skip this for now. We'll come back to that later. Okay. tell you what, I want to talk about just for a couple of minutes this idea of right here on the bottom. Remember, we said, what do you do with these pronouns? Because in your homework today, and I'm going to do a couple of these with you, you've got to create the perfect tense, and there are going to be a bunch of pronouns, and you got to know what to do with them. This is kind of funny. Aún no me he duchado. I still haven't showered. That's what this means. I still haven't showered. That's like, quarantine sentence. Like you get up, go to your computer, you do your stuff, eat a little food, drink a little coffee, and it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, aún no me he duchado. I still haven't showered. It's 2 o'clock. I must confess that usually I get up a little bit later than I normally would, and sometimes I shower, sometimes I don't. It depends on what I feel like doing. Anyway, it's a good thing you can't smell my breath, right? Okay, so what are we going to do? Let's give you a couple of examples. Here is a couple of components. We have the pronoun yo. We have the verb ducharme. And what we want to do is we want to say, I have showered. All right, I have showered. You have to deal with may, and you have to make this into the perfect tense. So I have is yo he, and duchar is going to turn into duchado, but what do you do with may? Well, may will go before haber. Okay, so it's going to be like this. Yo me he duchado. So this compound structure stays together. Never put anything in here. Okay? Always leave this connected. Now let's talk about this for one more second. I shower. Present tense. Present indicative. How do you say that? You would just say yo me ducho, right? Yo me ducho, I shower. We have a conjugation ducho. We have the may goes here, and we're all set. Hey, how about this one? I showered. I showered. This morning I showered. How do you say that? Yo me duché. E accent mark, right? That's just preterite. But here we have I have showered, yo me he duchado. And if you can get used to this, especially in your language, you're going to sound really, really smart, and it's really fun. And tons of people say this this structure. All right, let's do another one. She, then we have the verb to tell, and then we have a lay, because when you tell something to someone. And so the lay is referring to him. And really, this isn't just going to be L, this is going to be to him. And then what did she tell him? She told him the news. So how would you do this? She has told him the news. Now remember, decir, it's irregular. So you have to figure out what the irregular form of decir is. It's dicho, right? And ella is you're gonna have to use the verb haber with it. And we know that haber in the ella form is a. So we have ha dicho. And then what are you going to do with le? You're going to say le ha dicho. Ella le ha dicho. And with L, you have to say a L, right? Because it's happening to him. She has told this lay to him the news. Remember, this seems redundant. Lay plus AL seems redundant. Why does it seem redundant? Because in Spanish, lay means three things. It means to him, to her, or to usted. And in English, we say him, her, or you, and we know who we're talking about because there are three different words, him, her, and you. But in Spanish, him, her, or you is only one word. It's lay. And in order for us to really know who this person is, we have to clarify it with this little L. What's nice about Spanish, though, is if we know from context that we're talking about him, we don't have to actually say it. We just know from context. But in English, we have to keep saying him, right? But in Spanish, we just keep saying le. All right, so ella le ha dicho a él las noticias. Next one, this is the last one. You all, ustedes, the verb to study in French. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to replace the word French with a direct object pronoun. So the direct object pronoun for any singular masculine noun is lo. So el francés is going to turn into lo. But you got to know where to put lo, right? We're going to put it in the same place we've been putting it, which is immediately before haber. So we have ustedes, lo, han estudiado. Ustedes lo han estudiado. And what we're saying here is you all have studied it. It is referring to French. So that's what you do with pronouns. Okay, hey, tell you what, let's take you to the homework. I'm going to only give you one thing to do. Looks like this. It's forget letter C. Don't do letter C. That's stupid. Actually, letter C is actually good, but I don't want to do it. Let's keep things more simplistic. But really, take a look at this. Vera is a girl, has purchased shellfish, mariscos. What they're telling you, though, is to change this noun, this direct object, into a direct object pronoun. Los is referring to the mariscos, and it's the word them, right? Them are the mariscos. So, Vera los ha comprado. Vera has purchased them. We really do need to teach this. Let's do that another time, though. Let's do letter D. And this is on page 139. Okay, so we're bored as an oyster. Nos aburrimos como una ostra. We're dying of boredom. We're as bored as an oyster. Usted y sus amigos quieren escaparse de una fiesta muy aburrida. Imagine that. You and your friends want to get out of escape from a boring party. Describa lo que han hecho todos ustedes cambiando los verbos del tiempo presente al pretérito perfecto. In other words, describe what all of you have done, changing the verbs from the present tense to the perfect tense. Now, we said pretérito perfecto is present perfect. It's a weird, misleading name. All right, so Pablo tries to flee. And we're going to say Pablo has tried to flee. All right, Maria Dolores falls asleep. Maria Dolores has fallen asleep. How are you going to do this? Well, I don't have a way of writing on this paper. I wished I did. Then I could just handwrite right on here. But really, what you're going to say is Maria Dolores se ha. Okay, what is duerme? Duerme is dormir. Is dormir irregular? No. You're going to write dormido. All right, so Maria Dolores se ha dormido. In other words, Maria has fallen asleep. It's a boring party, right? So that's why she fell asleep. You and bosteza, every time I open up a ripasso, I learn a new word. So, hey, guess what? Sometimes you got to look stuff up. Bostezar is the verb for yawning. So, yeah, that makes sense. You yawn. Usted bosteza. We're going to turn that into you have yawned. And what we're going to say is usted ha bostezado. pasado. Okay, let's do one more because it has a pronoun and an irregular form. So, yo me pongo el abrigo. I put on my coat. Remember, this is the verb ponerse. Ponerse is a reflexive verb, has a reflexive verb pronoun me. And poner is irregular in the past participle. So what we got to do is we have to say yo, me, he, right? Poner turns into puesto. Yo me he puesto el abrigo. Me he puesto el abrigo is what it sounds like. Me he puesto el abrigo. Yo me he puesto el abrigo. Okay, hey, that's it for me. I want you to finish those numbers 1 through 8. Please do it in a Google Doc. Please make sure you put on the Google Doc your name, Repaso 9D 1 through 8. And Friday, we'll talk about this. No, it's due Friday. What am I saying? When we get together, I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't worry about that. I'll figure that out. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. Ah!